Hi there, Professor Chris here. Welcome to another video brought to you by TARMA, Threat Assessment Risk Mitigation Advisors. We are starting a new series of videos that focus on scammers because scamming is at an all-time high right now due to the pandemic. So a lot of people, as I mentioned in my holiday video, a lot of people are staying at home, maybe working from home or need to be home because of quarantine or self-isolation. And they could be getting the monthly child tax credits from the government, and so on and so forth. So there is a lot of money going on out there and the scammers want to take advantage of it. So because, as I said, there are so many different types of scams, we're going to be doing each type of scam in its own video. So that way you can pick and choose which one you want to watch. So today we're looking at sweetheart scams. And this one is one that has been run on me, not successfully, but I have had a couple of guys try it, and I will share anecdotes about that along the way. And I also was talking a few months ago to an extended family member, let's call him that. His dad was roped in by a female, alleged female, who was running a sweetheart scam on him. And I hope the guy has come around to see sense, because he was really sucked in hard by this scammer, and it makes me feel bad. So while this is a fairly comprehensive list of tips and tricks and what to watch out for, what to do, it's not a full list because scammers could be watching this video too, right? And I'm not about to educate them on how to be better about ripping people off. So, if you have any questions, absolutely reach out to me. This isn't about the money for me, okay? I do this for fun. So, any opportunity that I can get to bust scammers. I mean, you go to my Facebook page, granted it's been probably a couple months, but I used to screenshot their profile, their about information, and pictures of the message thread, and then share it publicly on Facebook and Instagram and let people know who they were, how I knew they were a scammer, what they did, and what they were going for, in addition to reaching out directly to anyone who's a mutual friend of that individual and saying, hey, this person's on your friends list and they're a scammer, you might want to block them. So the thing about friends lists, especially if they're private, is when you go through and accept someone who has sent you a friend request, if it's not someone you know, you are making your entire friends list susceptible to whatever that person could be bringing into your world. Okay. So, which includes hacking, scamming, whatever the case may be. It is my recommendation that you set your friends list to private so nobody can see it, even if they are on your friends list. And you don't accept friend requests from anyone who doesn't have mutual friends in common. Again, just my suggestion. Also, especially for women, but this could work for men too. If you are single, divorced, widowed, don't put your relationship status. Just leave it blank. Because that is one of the things that they look for. Although in my experience, they don't really tend to spend a lot of time actually reading the profile, which is one of the things that I tend to get pissed off about. I'm like, listen, if you're really that interested in me and you think I'm that hot or whatever your game is that you're running, then you should do your homework first and read my profile. Of course, if they did that, they'd realize that they're not going to get shit from me. So, here we go. The male predators, okay, and I use air quotes when I say male because they may not be male. They, for all intents and purposes, they appear to be attractive, but they may or may not be a real person. The photos that you see, the profile that you see is often stolen. Okay, unless you actually have a conversation via video with this person, the chances are pretty good that this profile is stolen. that includes military, law enforcement, you name it. Because, hello, they're not going to use their real picture if they're trying to rip people off, right? Typically, they will target women ages 20 to 60 with single, divorced, widowed on their profile and their relationship status. No, thank you. Leave it. Athena, leave it. Oh, they will offer a tragic story about about how their wife died, to garner sympathy and sort of set the hook. Excuse me, sorry about that. To begin reeling in their target. And as my phone goes off while I'm doing this video, literally a scam comes up. Unbelievable. Yeah, they may even share photos of a child or children, which this guy that I tried to run a scam on me, he did that. He had pictures of a child. I don't know who the child was, but using the photos of a child to commit a crime is a crime in and of itself. Because if they're sharing pictures of their alleged children, they're thinking that they're going to get more sympathy from their target. And he will profess very deep feelings, wax poetic about how relationships should be, and tell you he loves you up to and including, in some cases, suggesting marriage, to go with promises of lavish vacations that will come after he's back from the oil rig, or whatever project he claims to be working on is wrapped up. It's really kind of funny. But I think this particular one, James, that hit me up on Facebook, but my best friend told me that she saw him on LinkedIn. He hit her up on LinkedIn, so he was a very busy little bee. I think he told me, I want to say it was inside of 48 hours that he told me he loved me. I was like, wow, that's going to be a new record. Eventually, he will ask you for some form of currency, whether it's a Google card, a Steam card, iTunes card, or some way to access said money via Cash App, Zelle, PayPal, Facebook Pay, whatever the case may be. And if you say no, he may or may not initially try and use emotional manipulation and say, oh, well, if you really care about me, then you'll do this because, you know, they're about to shut off the internet or whatever. There's going to be some sort of emergency that he needs it right now. And I'm like, yeah, well, if you're on an oil rig in the middle of the freaking ocean and you make 6 figures, I don't even know what their exact salary is, but it's somewhere in the 6-figure range. How in the land of all that's good and holy, how are you not having money with you? Like, how do you not have money? Oh, well, we're not allowed to bring our wallets. Oh my God. This guy had an answer for everything, and it just got more and more ridiculous. Here's the thing, okay? This is what I really, really want you to remember. Here's the thing. You're not in a courtroom, right? There's no perjury. There's no burden of proof, right? You don't have to have evidence against these clowns. It's online. You can say whatever you want and do whatever you want, but I caution you. I caution you not to instigate these individuals. Because while white-collar criminals generally aren't violent, there's nothing saying that they're not working with people who are. Okay? And especially with the Zelle app, in order to receive money on that, you have to be in the US. Or it has to be a US-based account. That's what it is. So I'm sure they probably have it linked to some external account that, you know, whatever, they can wire the money out again. But You never know who these people are. So I caution you not to instigate these people. But at the same time, you don't have to be honest with them. Okay. If they reach out to you and they're like, oh, are you single? You can be like, no, actually, my husband is coming home any minute and he is a 6'4", 260-pound correctional officer that works at the Supermax 20 minutes away. So sorry. Mess with them a little bit. I mean, whatever. They're lying to you. What? Really? Come on. You don't know these clowns or anything. Okay, so on to the females. Again, may not even be women. They may be completely catfishing you. They may have the target change their name on their own profile because they're running more than one scam at a time. So if they have, and what I don't understand about this is why they don't just set their friends list to private so you can't see it. But my belief is that they have their target change their own name to something feminine, to narrow down on the jealousy. So if other guys see it, they don't get jealous, and also is a form of control. They may make up a story about needing help for their child or children. Oh, my kid needs clothes, or we need food, or my phone or internet or whatever is about to be shut off. They may offer to send photos of an illicit nature to hook targets and increase probability and amount of gifts. I mean, that pretty much goes without saying, right? At that point, you're bordering on prostitution. But it's just like one of those, click here for... messages you get on your phone. You're like, I don't even use my phone for porn. Where is this coming from? Like, hello. They may come up with problems. Again, their phone is broken. Something's about to get shut off or whatever the case may be to try and coerce or, add more urgency to the need for money. So in these cases, what you're going to look at their profile on social media, okay? If you can easily scan to the bottom of the profile, which means the beginning, right, of their feed, and the date is fairly recent, it's a pretty good indication that it's a new profile, which also means more than likely they got busted and they had to start a new profile. And they'll say, oh, I was scammed and I was hacked and I had to start a new profile or whatever. If you look at the about section in their profile and it seems like it's not quite right, dates and times don't line up. I've seen profiles where these clowns finish multiple degrees within months of each other and suddenly they're a 20-year-old, neurosurgeon or some shit. And it's like, unless you're some Doogie Howser like prodigy, there's no way on God's green earth that you went through, high school and then 7-ish years of pre-med, med school, residency, yada, yada, and then landed a job as a neurosurgeon by the time you're 20 years old. No fucking way does that happen. I don't care who you are. I've also seen profiles where this guy toggled between impersonating different branches of the military, and in one where I busted him, first it was Army and then it was Marines, which is called stolen valor if someone's impersonating military and they were never in the military, or they're claiming to have earned awards that they never earned. He said something about he had just started the branch of the military. He had just become a Marine, I want to say a couple of weeks or something, and he was already a corporal something or other. And I'm like, damn. Okay. No effing way does that happen. I mean, come on. They don't just hand out ranks. You got to put the time in. Come on. But they count on people not paying attention and not reading these things. I'll tell you what, my attention to detail, on point. On point. Oh, and another thing, they claim to have lived in the US their entire life and their English sucks. look at the message, right? If they're messaging you on a message thread, look at it. Look at the sentence structure, the order of the words. Just look at it. And if it seems like it's not right to you, you're probably right. Just real quick, I'm going to touch on these because the military and law enforcement impersonation will be in another video. For military, ask their MOS, military occupational specialty. You know, if you know somebody in that branch of the military that this individual is pretending to be a part of, reach out to the person you know and say, hey, is this MOS like a real thing? Also, if their English is shitty, they're probably not in the military or law enforcement, because guess what? As far as I know, our military and law enforcement don't hire people who don't speak English. Hello? Also, not understanding common abbreviations that are used in that, you know, branch of the military or law enforcement. In one particular instance, some guy was pretending to be a LEO, which is law enforcement officer, right? And I don't know, he was from like Chicago or something. I mean, the picture of the guy, the picture of the LEO that he stole, the dude was smoking hot, okay? But he didn't know what LEO meant. And I'm like, okay, really? You've had a LEO for 5 years and you don't even know what LEO means? Please. So, yeah, that happened. And of course, he got really pissed off, you know, after trying to emotionally coerce you and say, oh, if you really love me, you know, or cared about me, you do this. And then when you say, no, they're probably going to get pissed off, or they might jump right to pissed off, because here's the thing. They see it as you wasted their time. Okay. In their minds, they're not doing anything wrong. And white collar criminals are generally very fucking lazy. They're lazy because think about it. If they went out and got an actual job, they could probably be very successful, because for all intents and purposes, these people are fairly intelligent. So they're just fucking lazy. That's what it boils down to. So my recommendations as a threat assessment and risk mitigation specialist: again, females, especially if you're single, divorced, widowed, leave your relationship status blank or lie. The perpetrator may try to instigate the target into a video call. In some cases, they may do this to obtain your IP address, which then allows hacking and maybe even obtaining your physical geographic location. And you don't want that to happen. And they may even accuse you of being the scammer in order to instigate you into giving them money or getting on a video call with them. And, you know, don't let them bother you. Don't let them get to you, because you know you're legit, right? So they're the shitbag. Don't worry about it. And again, you know, don't instigate them. Don't get them started, because it's only going to get worse and it's just going to get you all riled up. You know, block them, get them away from you, and absolutely, you know, reach out to me if you want. Chris McQuinney, my contact information, my name is in my YouTube information. trmadvising@gmail. You can find me on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, email, phone. I mean, you know, we do an initial consultation for free. So if you have a couple of questions, I'm not going to charge you for it. Come on, really? And any scumbag that does that, they're in it for the wrong reasons. So that's what I have to say about that. Anyways, please be safe out there. Take care of yourself. And again, reach out with any questions. Thank you so much. And from our family here at TARMA to yours, happy holidays.